Hello and welcome to Pre-Algebra Test Section 1 on comparing fractions. So we want to replace each question mark with the less than, greater than, or equals to. So we're going to start out with 4/5 question mark 8/10. So in the lesson, I kind of gave you a shortcut to do this. I told you that you can take the denominator of one fraction, which in this case for 4/5 is 5, and you can multiply by the numerator of the other fraction. So 5 times 8 will give me 40. And I just write that right next to that fraction. And I do it to the other one. So the denominator of this fraction is 10. Multiplied by the numerator of this fraction, that's 4. 10 times 4 is 40. Now I just compare the two numbers. And basically, in this case, we have 40 and we also have 40. So we know the two fractions are equal in value. So we'd say 4/5 is equal to 8/10. You can kind of eyeball these fractions and see they're the same. If I took 4/5 and multiplied it by 2/2, I would end up with 8/10, right? So it's the exact same fraction. This one is just simplified. Now, if you don't understand why this works, I kind of, again, explain this in the lesson. What we're doing here is we're just using a little shortcut. If I had 4/5 and I had 8/10, generally the method you're going to use is you're going to rewrite the fractions as equivalent fractions where you have a common denominator. And then you're going to look to see which numerator is bigger to tell you which fraction is bigger. Now, when you do these type of problems, you don't always look for the LCD. Usually it's a little quicker if you just say, okay, I can get a common denominator by just taking the denominator of one fraction and multiplying it by the denominator of the other fraction. 5 times 10 is 50. So my common denominator, not my least common denominator, but just a common denominator, could be 50. So all I would do is multiply the numerator and denominator here by the denominator of the other fraction. So I'd multiply this by 10/10, and I'd multiply this by 5/5. And in each case, I'm going to get this common denominator of 50. So once I do 4 times 10, I'm going to get 40. That's what I did here, right? 10 times 4. I just kind of did it in a different way. Once I do 8 times 5, I'm going to get 40. That's what I did here. 5 times 8, I got 40. So essentially, I'm shortcutting this process here with this cross multiplication. I don't really need to know what the new denominator is going to be. I just know that they're going to be the same. So I can kind of skip all this and just cross multiply. I know that to get the new numerator, I'm going to be multiplying by the denominator of this fraction, right? This times this will give me the new numerator for this fraction. This times this will give me the new numerator for that fraction. So that's kind of why that shortcut works. All right, let's look at 2/3 question mark 4/7. Again, what we're doing is we're cross multiplying. So we're going to take this denominator, multiply by this numerator. 3 times 4 is 12. Then I'm going to take this denominator, which is 7, multiply by this numerator, which is 2. 7 times 2 is 14. So 14 is larger than 12, so that tells me 2/3 is the bigger fraction. So 2/3 is greater than 4/7. And again, if I don't went through the long process of multiplying 2/3 by the denominator of the other fraction, 7/7, I would end up with 2 times 7, which is 14. Again, that's what I got there. And then 3 times 7 would be 21. So this would be 14/21. If I multiplied 4/7 times the denominator of this fraction, 3, so 3/3. 4 times 3 is 12. Again, that's what I got there. So 12/21. Again, the denominator is going to be the same. So I only need to think about what the numerator would be. So that's why we cross multiply and say, okay, the numerator would be 14 here, and the numerator over here would be 12. 14 is greater than 12, and so 2/3 is going to be the greater fraction. All right, what about 3/11 question mark 3/7? So again, we're just going to cross multiply. So 11 times 3 is 33, and 7 times 3 is 21. 33 is larger, so that means 3/11 is the smaller fraction. So 3/11 is less than 3/7. Again, if you went through and you multiplied 3/11 by 7/7, right? The denominator from the other fraction is 7. 3 times 7 will give you 21, right? So the new numerator for 3/11 would be 21. Now, the denominator would be 77. But again, because we know the denominator is the same, we don't really care what it is. We're only going to be looking at what the new numerator would be. For this one, 3/7, we'd be multiplying by 11/11. So 3 times 11 is 33. 7 times 11 again is 77. And again, if you look at these two fractions, they have the same denominator. This numerator is bigger, so it's the bigger fraction. Now, another thing you could think about here, without even cross-multiplying, you can look at these two fractions here. Since they have the exact same numerator, the rule is if you have the same numerator and a bigger denominator, you have a smaller fraction. So 3 divided by 11 is going to give you a smaller number than 3 divided by only 7. As we divide by larger and larger numbers, our result gets smaller and smaller. I'm taking the same amount and cutting it up into more pieces, and so I get a smaller value as a result. Hello and welcome to Pre-Algebra Test Section 2 on comparing fractions. All right, so we just want to replace each question mark with the less than, greater than, or equal to. So we start out with 31 over 50, question mark 12 over 21. So the quickest way to compare these two fractions is to cross multiply. So we're going to take the denominator from this fraction and multiply it by the numerator of this fraction. So what is 50 times 12? Well, we have a trailing zero here, so I can do 5 times 12, that's 60, and then just put a 0 at the end of that, so that would be 600. Then next we want to do 21, the denominator of this fraction, times 31, the numerator of the other fraction. So what is 21 times 31? Let's just crank that out real quick. 1 times 31 is 31. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Bring down the 1. 3 plus 2 is 5. Bring down the 6. So this is 651 over here. So whichever fraction has the bigger number next to it is the larger fraction. So 651 is bigger than 600. So that tells us that 31 over 50 is greater than 12 over 21. What about 9/8 question mark 14/11? So again, we're going to cross multiply. We're going to take 8 and multiply it by 14. That's going to give us 112. And then we're going to take 11 and multiply it by 9. And that's going to give us 99. So 112 is the bigger number. So 14 over 11 is the larger fraction. So we're going to say that 9/8 is less than 14 over 11. Or again, 14/11. Hello and welcome to Pre-Algebra Test Section 3 on comparing fractions. So we want to replace each question mark with the less than, greater than, or equal to sign. So we start out with -4/15, question mark -2/7. So when you start comparing negative fractions, you have to think about the fractions in terms of their absolute value first. So just pretend that these numbers are positive. So let's say we had 4/15 and we had 2/7. So to find out which one is bigger, we would cross multiply. We would take the denominator of this fraction and we multiply by the numerator of this fraction. So 15 times 2 would give me 30. Then I'd multiply the denominator of this fraction, 7, times the numerator of this fraction, 4. 7 times 4 is 28. Now I know that this is the bigger fraction because 30 is a bigger number. So 2/7 is larger. So let's just go ahead and write that 4/15 is less than 2/7. Now, a lot of you might jump in and say, okay, well, -4/15 is less than -2/7. That would be wrong, right? This would be wrong. Here's why. When you work with negatives, the bigger the negative, the smaller the number. So if I had something like, let's say, 3 and 7, the relationship would start out like this. 3 is less than 7. But if I made these numbers negative, if I had -3 and -7, the reverse would be true. -3 is now a greater number, right? -3 would be greater than -7 because it's a smaller negative. Again, as we look at a number line, as we go to the left and these negatives get bigger and bigger, your values are actually becoming smaller. So for this example, since 4/15 is smaller than 2/7, when we make these numbers negative, -4/15 is going to be larger than -2/7 because this is going to be a smaller negative and therefore a larger number. All right, let's take a look at another one. We have -7/11 and -5/8. And again, what I'm going to do is pretend these numbers are positive. So we have 7/11ths and 5/8. We'll cross multiply. 11 times 5 is 55. 8 times 7 is 56. So this is the bigger fraction, 7/11ths. So 7/11ths is greater than 5/8. But again, when you start talking about them being negatives, the reverse is going to be true. So negative 7/11ths is going to be a smaller number because, again, it's going to be a bigger negative. So this is less than negative 5/8. Hello and welcome to Pre-Algebra Test Section 4 on comparing fractions. All right, so we just want to arrange each group from smallest to largest using inequality symbols. So we have the fractions 4/5, 11/15, and 5/7. So we can start by just comparing any two fractions that we want. Let's start with 4/5 and 11/15. So I'm going to cross multiply. 5 times 11 is 55. 15 times 4 is 60. So that tells me that 4/5 is the larger fraction. So 4/5 is greater than 11/15. So let me then compare 11/15 and 5/7. So 11/15 and 5/7. So 15 times 5 is 75. And 7 times 11 is going to be 77. So 11/15 is going to be the bigger fraction. So 11/15 is bigger than 5/7. So if I know 11/15 is smaller than 4/5, and if I know it's bigger than 5/7, then I know 5/7 is the smallest one. I know 11/15 is the middle one, and I know 4/5 is the largest one. Now it told us in the directions that we wanted to arrange each group from smallest to largest using inequality symbols. We don't have that here. We have largest to smallest. So we just need to flip it around and say that 5/7 is less than 11/15, which is less than 4/5. Hello and welcome to Pre-Algebra Test Section 5 on comparing fractions. All right, so we want to arrange each group from smallest to largest using inequality symbols. So for the group, we have 2/3, 8/21, 4/7, and 3/5. Now, in some examples, you might see me comparing two fractions at a time until we kind of figure out the relative size of each fraction. I think when you have more than 3, it's probably quicker just to figure out what the LCD is and then change each fraction into an equivalent fraction where the LCD is its denominator. Once we have the same denominator in each case, we can just look at the numerators and see which fraction is the largest, the second largest, the third largest, and then the smallest. Let's go ahead and just get the LCD. So we have the denominators of 3, 21, 7, and 5. So the LCD, remember, is the least common multiple of the denominators. So for 3, 21, 7, and 5. So 3 doesn't factor, so we'll just put it in there. 21 is 7 times 3. I already have a 3, so I just put times 7. 7 is already in there, it doesn't factor. And then I'll just throw in a 5. So 3 times 7 is 21. 21 times 5 is 105. So for 2/3, I would multiply by 7 times 5, or 35, over 35, so that I can have a denominator of 105. But again, kind of, if you think back to the cross-multiplying shortcut, I don't need to know what the denominator is going to be, because I know in each case I'm going to get a denominator of 105. So save yourself a step and just say, okay, what is 2 times 35? That's 70. So I'm just going to write a 70 next to this fraction, because if I converted it into an equivalent fraction with 105 as denominator, 70 would be its numerator. All right, for the next one, I have 8/21. 8/21. So I would multiply that. If I had 7 times 3 is 21, I'd multiply it by 5/5. So again, just multiply the numerator by 5. 8 times 5 is 40. I'm going to write that next to that number right there. Then for 4/7, if the denominator is 7, I'd need to multiply by 3 times 5, or 15. So this would get multiplied by 15/15. Again, to save myself a step, I'm just going to multiply the numerator. 4 times 15 is 60. And then lastly, I have 3/5. 3/5. So that 5 there, I just need to multiply by 21/21. Again, save myself a step. 3 times 21 is 63. So now if I look at these fractions here, I can see that if I had changed them into equivalent fractions, where 105 is the denominator, I'd have 70 over 105, I'd have 40 over 105, I'd have 60 over 105, and I'd have 63 over 105. And once I have the same denominator, it's very easy to see the relative size of the fractions. I know that this one is the largest. I know that this one is the smallest. I know that this one is the kind of second largest, and then this would be kind of the third largest, or you could say the second smallest. I don't know, third largest. So if we kind of ordered them 1 through 4, with 1 being the largest, this would be 1, this would be 2, this would be 3, and this would be 4. Now, if we look back at our instructions, it says arrange each group from smallest to largest using inequality symbols. So your smallest fraction here, again, if you look at the numbers, the fourth fraction is the smallest one. So that's 40 over 105, or the original fraction that we started with, 8 over 21. And that's going to be less than, if you look at the number 3, we have 60 over 105, which the original fraction was 4/7. That's going to be less than. Then we look at number 2, we have 63 over 105. The original fraction there was 3/5. And then kind of the largest fraction, the number 1, we have 70 over 105. And again, the original fraction was 2/3. And when you look at inequalities this way, everything has to work. So this has to be the smallest fraction because it's less than everything, right? 8 over 21 is less than 4/7, which is less than 3/5, which is less than 2/3. So this has to be the smallest. Then this 4/7 has to be greater than 8 over 21, but less than 3/5 and 2/3, and it is. 3/5 has to be greater than 4/7 and 8 over 21, but less than 2/3. That works. And then 2/3 has to be greater than 3/5, 4/7, and 8 over 21. And of course it is. So kind of our answer here, based on our instructions, is to write that 8 over 21 is less than 4/7, which is less than 3/5, which is less than 2/3.